Today, we're diving deep into a story that has captured the imagination of astronomers and stargazers alike. The mysterious object known as 3I Atlas. You've probably seen the headlines, heard the whispers, and maybe even felt a little tingle of excitement or dread. Is it an alien probe? A comet unlike any other? Or just a misunderstood piece of space rock? Today, we're going to play devil's advocate and explore every angle of this cosmic enigma. First, let's get the official story straight. In 2019, the Atlas Sky Survey in Hawaii spotted a faint object moving through our solar system. It was given the designation C2019Y4 Atlas. Initially, it looked like a fairly standard comet. But as it got closer to the sun, things started getting weird. It began brightening at an incredible rate, far faster than a typical comet would. The excitement was palpable. Astronomers thought it might become one of the brightest comets seen in decades, a true, great comet, visible to the naked eye. And then, just as quickly as it brightened, it fell apart. In April 2020, observers, including the Hubble Space Telescope, confirmed that Comet Atlas had disintegrated into a cloud of smaller fragments. The great spectacle we were promised fizzled out into a celestial ghost. The official explanation is that the icy nucleus of the comet was fragile and couldn't withstand the intense solar radiation as it neared the sun. It was a classic case of a comet crumbling under pressure. A bit of an anticlimax, but a perfectly normal, if disappointing, cosmic event. But what if that's not the whole story? This is where the devil's advocate hat comes on. Let's look at the anomalies, the little details that make you go, The first major point of contention is its trajectory. When astronomers calculated its orbit, they found it was remarkably similar to the Great Comet of 1844. This suggests that both Atlas and the 1844 comet were likely fragments of a much larger parent body that broke apart centuries, or even millennia, ago. So, we're not just looking at one fragile comet, but a family of them, all following a similar path of self-destruction. This isn't necessarily strange in itself, but it adds a layer of legacy and history to our object. Now let's talk about that designation, 3I Atlas. That little I is a huge deal. It stands for interstellar. This means that based on its trajectory, astronomers concluded it came from outside our solar system. This puts it in a very exclusive club with only a couple of other confirmed members, like Oumuamua and Borisov. An interstellar visitor is already a 1 in a million event. An interstellar visitor that follows the path of a historic comet from our own solar system. The odds of that are astronomical, almost impossibly so. This is where the speculation really takes off. Harvard astronomer Avi Loeb, who famously proposed that Oumuamua could be an alien artifact, has also weighed in on objects like Atlas. The core of his argument is simple. When we see something that behaves in a way that defies our neat and tidy explanations, we should at least consider the possibility that it's not natural. So, let's entertain that idea. What if Atlas wasn't a comet at all? The official story says it broke apart due to solar heating. But what if that disintegration wasn't a natural process? Could it have been a deliberate action? Imagine an advanced extraterrestrial civilization sending probes to explore other star systems. A probe disguised as a comet would be the perfect camouflage. It could travel through a system, gather data, and then, to cover its tracks or perhaps deploy smaller sensors, it could execute a controlled fragmentation. It breaks apart, leaving behind a cloud of what looks like simple cometary debris, erasing any sign of its true technological nature. This controlled disassembly theory elegantly explains some of the weirdness. Why did it brighten so rapidly and then suddenly fragment? Perhaps this was the probe powering up its systems for a final data dump, or the deployment sequence, a process that would release energy and gas, mimicking a comet's outgassing. The fragmentation would be the final stage of its mission in our solar system. Think about it from a strategic standpoint. If you're an advanced intelligence, you don't send a giant flashing spaceship that says, "We're here." You send something subtle. You piggyback on natural phenomena. An interstellar object that just happens to perfectly mimic the orbit of a known comet family. That's either the most incredible coincidence in the history of astronomy, or it's not a coincidence at all. It's camouflage. It's a way of hiding in plain sight, using our own solar system's history as a mask. Of course, the scientific community pushes back, and for good reason. The principle of Occam's razor tells us that the simplest explanation is usually the correct one. And the simplest explanation here is that it was a fragile interstellar comet whose orbital characteristics coincidentally match the 1844 comet. They argue that we are still learning about the diversity of comets, especially those from other star systems. What we see as anomalous might just be a type of natural object we haven't encountered before. The fragments observed by Hubble looked like, well, comet fragments, dust and ice. There was no glint of metal, no strange radio signals, nothing to concretely suggest technology. But the devil's advocate asks, would we even know what to look for? If a civilization is advanced enough for interstellar travel, their technology might be completely indistinguishable from natural phenomena to us. Their materials might be organic, self-replicating, or based on physics we haven't even discovered. We are looking for nuts and bolts, while they might be building with stardust and gravity. The absence of evidence isn't the evidence of absence. Let's consider the timing. Oumuamua passed through in 2017. Atlas arrived in 2019. 2 confirmed interstellar visitors in just a few years. Before that, we had 0. Is this because our detection capabilities have improved that much, that quickly? Absolutely. That's a big part of it. Projects like Atlas and Pan-STARRS are scanning the sky with unprecedented diligence. But could it also be that something is out there, and we've just started to notice? Are we living in a special time? So, what are we left with? On one hand, we have a perfectly plausible, if slightly boring, scientific explanation. 3I Atlas was a fragile interstellar comet that met a predictable end. On the other hand, we have a tantalizing, mind-bending possibility. We witnessed the final act of an alien reconnaissance mission, a technological ghost that passed through our system, completed its objective, and vanished without a trace, leaving us to mistake it for just another piece of cosmic debris. The truth is, we may never know for sure. The fragments of Atlas are now too small and faint to track. The evidence is gone. But the questions remain. It forces us to confront the limits of our understanding and to be open to possibilities that stretch the boundaries of our imagination. Whether it was a rock or a reconnaissance drone, 3I Atlas served a valuable purpose. It made us look up, it made us think, and it reminded us that the universe is far more mysterious and wonderful than we can possibly imagine. What do you think? Was Atlas just a cosmic dud, or was it a cleverly disguised piece of extraterrestrial tech? Let me know your theories in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you all think about this cosmic mystery. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, please hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss our next exploration. Until next time, keep looking up.